Hello there, welcome to the Learn with IS Manager YouTube page, and in this video we're going to be talking about wireframing. I'll give you some examples, show you a project, and then I give you a class project to work on. So let's get started. So what is wireframing and what is it all about? Now, a quick definition I found on Google says wireframing is a process whereby designers draw overviews of interactive products to establish the structure and flow of possible design solutions. That may sound like too many English, but I'm going to break it down with examples now. So wireframing, basically also called low fidelity or low fidelity prototype, is basically like a sketch of what we want our final product to look like. So as UI UX designers, we are probably working on a website, a web app, or a mobile application. So now during the iteration stage, now we have different phases of design thinking. We have the define stage, the empathize stage, and then the ideation stage. Now we have other stages like the design stage and then the testing stage, prototyping and testing stage. But during the iterate stage, when we're iterating, now we're generating new ideas, we launch brainstorming sessions, we generate ideas on how we want this product to look like, because we already found the problem and we're trying to solve that problem. So during that stage, that's where wireframing usually comes in. Yeah, you come up with ideas. So how do we solve this? And then in that process we start sketching out. Understand, you can use pencil and then the paper or pen. You start sketching out how you want it to look like. Everybody comes up with the idea, so we are not going, it is not the finished product, but that's the direction we are moving towards. You understand? So in wireframing, we use boring fonts, we use we use no pictures, basically, because you don't want to get distracted by all those design elements, because you just want to move in one direction, and that direction is knowing the skeletal structure of the product you are working on. Understand? So let me just show you some examples to really buttress that point and make it stick. Understand? So now I found this particular example on the community page. Now this is a desktop frame. Let's say you're browsing with your desktop, so this is how it will look like. You understand? So something like that. So this is the desktop frame, and this is what's called a wireframe. Now you can obviously, there are no pictures, no special buttons, nothing special. You understand? Now the logo is even represented with this. Like, let me zoom in right there so that you can see that better. Now you can see what the logo is represented with, and you can see the top header, the top navigation rather, is represented with tab. You understand? So we don't want to get distracted by all these special things, and you understand what I'm saying? So the buttons also will okay, so we don't want to be distracted by all the various CTAs and anything. Just at this point we want to know the direction we are moving towards with the design. Understand? So let me just show you the hero page. Now you can see the hero page here. We have, now the hero page is just that page that you land on when you enter into a website or a landing page, that you have probably an hero image, a very beautiful image, high quality image that really tries to describe what they are doing, or a video depending on the case. So you can see that we have that here, and we just describe, we just use squares here just to know that, okay, so this is where the hero page is going to be, or the hero screen, and this is how it's going to look. We have two CTAs, and you can see, so we can see right under that the other section shows probably the features section, and then we have a call to action right down there. So this is what wireframing is, and this is the direction we try to move with wireframe. You can see the footer also, nothing special, because you don't want to spend a lot of time doing your wireframing at all. You don't want to do that. You understand? You just want to know the direction you are moving towards. Sometimes you rather not use text, sometimes you could use text, depending on what you're working on. So we have three versions of this here. This is the desktop version, this right here in the middle is the tablet version, and this right here is the mobile version. You understand? So there are some elements that have been removed, like you can notice that we have a tab here. like the various top navigations, but we don't have it here because it's mobile. If you use it here, it'll be too small, so you rather use the hamburger. Let me zoom in on that so that you can visualize it better. So you rather have the hamburger menu. You understand? Yeah, rather have the hamburger menu so that it will just slide in. So when you click on this, it slides in, and then you can see the whole other navigations. You understand? So that is wireframing using that example. So I also have another example that I found in the community. It's a wireframing kit, and I believe um, it will help you visualize what we actually really mean by wireframing. So let me zoom out here so that we can then see better. Okay, so we are here and we have the wireframing kit I talked about. So this is basically another way your wireframes could look like. Now this one has colors, basically blue, just to lighten things up, but I would rather prefer, personally, I just do my wireframing on a grayscale. I did it on a grayscale, just to keep things simple, because you don't want your stakeholders to say, oh, you're using yellow is not our company's color, it's not the brand color, you understand, or that text, I don't like the way it looks, so you don't want to, like, you don't want to keep them distracted, or they are seeing this typographical error. So you don't want all this at this stage. You understand? You just want to show them that this is the direction we're moving with the design, and you understand, so they can try to. They probably most times don't make changes to wireframes because they might not understand. If people who understand, then they will, like, will help you in that process, kind of. So yeah, you can see the top header here, the hero page here. We have a video kind of templates, you understand, and then we have the call to action. And that's one thing about wireframes, one thing about design, basically, or landing pages, you always have call to actions. Because why you being a landing page when you are not trying to call them to do something, you understand? So that's what it's all about. So you can see the feature section here, they used another style here. You can see they also, like, this still like part of the feature section, you understand? It actually depends on you. There's actually an hierarchy when you are doing landing pages like this. You can have you can have the it usually starts with the hero page, the header, obviously, then the hero page, then the features section, then the testimonials, other features or companies you worked with, and the footer. So, and you can see the footer right here. So that is basically wireframing and what it is all about. One more thing is, yeah, as I've said this before, but I'll just say it again. Yeah, we can create sketches. Understand? You can create sketches of wireframe rather than using digital formats like using Figma. You can create your wireframes the um on the on a pen and paper, using a pen and paper rather. So that's it. So these are two examples that I have here on how to create wireframing, or how to create wireframes rather. So now we can see here that I only used I did it on grayscale. I used gray, black, white, and it's not even totally black, it's like a deeper shade of gray. So let me zoom in on that. So now we have, like you can see, I'm representing logo with just a circle here, and then we have top features. Now the problem now is that these top features here that I used here are not the UX. I don't know if I put it like that. It is not very usable because this frame that I'm using here is a mobile frame. So if you have something like this, it would not how should I put it? It would probably not be clickable on a phone because it'd be very small. You understand? So I did this so I can let you know that there's what we usually use in mobiles. This landing page, a web landing page, is not a mobile app. If it's a mobile app, I recommend you use like footer navigation for all your navigations. But if it's a web app, use the hamburger menu like this. Don't use something like that. It will just be too small. So you can do something like this. You can have the call to action like that, and then have the hamburger menu like this. The hamburger menu is the three lines. So yeah, so that's what we did. So my hero page here, it's kind of a video kind of look. So I used what's it called, grid lines, layout grid. This is the row, and then I'll show you the column. Okay, so I'll turn on the eyedropper, no, the eye icon right there, and then you can see the layout grid which I used. I try to make sure I follow my layouts to par. And so that's what it is. So this is the feature section where we have the like the sub header and then the features opposing each other, like one goes from left to right and the other from not actually still from left to right, but you can see I try to like make it visually appealing, not in beauty but in I don't have a word for this, but it's more like you are trying to I alternated it. Obviously I alternated the picture from here to here so that it will not be boring, you understand, so that you can then see that the way the eyes will read and then navigate through this page will be more interesting, and then the retention factor will increase, and then you'll be able to retain them. But if everything is boring and follows it one direction, then it will all be the same, and then to not serve the purpose. So you can see the testimonials part here. Let me turn off the grid. Yeah, you can see the testimonials part here where we have this bigger UI card, and then we have other icons. So this bigger UI card can be like, let's say Google, let's say the biggest company you worked for. You understand? If it's a B2B business, the biggest company you work for, and then other companies would then be here. Well, if it's a B2C or B2C, probably your biggest customer, let's say the CEO of Google. I love Google. So the CEO of Google is there, and so like that. So that's the testimonial section. And then a final call to action, and then the footers page. Then the footers page. So I'll be showing you the other one, which is this other one, just an alternate, almost same thing, I just made some things better, like the header. You understand what I said about the header the other time, and that's it. So yeah, I made the call to action bigger because that's what you want. And yeah, so in the testimonial and the features section, I then show that there are different ways you could do it. If it's like, say you're working with a client, or let's say a client that needs a gallery to display their work. So if you are trying to make a gallery, try to do something like this. Do not create something that is boring, like everything should be equal squares and then properly aligned. No, this is still properly aligned, but you get what I mean, where everything will be the same square. Like, let me try to show you an example right here where everything is all the same, and it's all very boring and the squares are just equal. It will not give that visual appeal, if I may say. Not give that visual appeal, and it would be very boring, so boring, and you don't even understand why it is. So let's say we have something like this. Let's say we have something very, very boring, it's very, very annoying. So that's what you should do. Okay, so testimonials, I did not spell that right, and you understand. So that's what I'm trying to show you. So let's get into the design right away. Okay, so to start designing, the first thing you need to do is create a frame, right? So to create a frame, you can click on F to bring out the frame tool, or you can come up here to click on the framing tool right there. So when you click on the frame tool, you can see the presets are here. So you can have phone, tablet, desktop, presentation, watches, paper, social media, Figma community. So we have different presets for all this templates. Yeah, so we're using phone basically, and when I use phone, the one I prefer to use is iPhone 11 Pro Max because of the width, and the width is 375, so it's very close to Android size and iOS size, so it's like in the middle of everything. So yeah, I want to bring this over here, right? So okay, let me shift that up a little. So big on alignment, I don't think everything is aligned. Well, for big on alignment though. Okay, so the next thing you should do is to name your frame. I name this wireframe, I name the other one lo-fi, so I'll be naming this low fidelity. We're still talking about the same thing. Okay, so when I want to start designing, the first thing I decide to do, yeah, so is to create a layout grid. Yeah, so to create a layout grid, you can come to the right hand panel, the properties panel here. You see layout grid, click on the plus sign. So when you click on the plus sign, you have the grid right here. The grid is showing. So we don't want the grid, we want a column, right? So you see this icon here, you click on that, and then you can then look for a column. And normally I would use 12, but 12 is too big, or it's too much for mobile, because 12 is good for desktop, but for mobile I rather use 6. You understand? Other things that we need to set, after the count to 6, we need to set the margin. So I would normally use 20 for my margin. Let me raise this up a little. Okay, so I normally use 20 for my margin. Yeah, no, not so 20. Ah, come on, what's wrong? 20. Okay, so and for the gutter we use 10. I use 10. So and I have that. So one other thing I'll set is the rows. So for the rows, I change it here to rows basically, and I use 12 counts, the margin 20, and the gutter 20. Understand? So and from there we will start designing proper. What we are going to do first of all is to create the header. Right now we can see we have the header for this tool right here. So so let me just get straight into business. Yeah, so I created the logo using an ellipse. So you can come under the shapes part here, this drop down, click on that, you can see the shapes. So I'll be clicking on the ellipse tool. So let me zoom in. You can just plus on your keyboard to zoom in, and yeah, so I'll hold on shift to create a perfect circle. If you don't want a perfect circle, don't hold on shift, but if you want a perfect circle, you hold on shift. So you click and drag, and you have your circle in that fashion. Okay, so I'll drag this up a little, and I will give it a color. So, and as I've said, you want your wireframing to be in a grayscale, so the grays are here. So I'll just drag it down a little, give it some some nice grays to it. And I'll be using the gray I choose for the logo is what is the gray I'm going to use throughout if I want to apply color any other place. You understand? So the next thing I'll do is to create the hamburger menu icon. You can actually use plugins, because that's something in Figma. Plugins are very useful. You can use plugins, use Iconify, but we're not using that for now. Click on lines. So yeah, use L to create. If you want to create the line, use L. Come down to the side and you can see line arrow. So we want lines. Then hold shift to draw a straight line. Shift and drag, and we have a straight line in that fashion. So I will Control D, and then I will nudge down with my down button. That Control D is duplicate, right? I'll nudge down. So if I'm in a space, if I have the distance that I want, I just Control D again, and then it duplicates and create another one with the same distance. So what I will then do is to click and drag over everything to create, to select them all, and then right click on that and create a group selection. Control G, right? So the next thing I want to do is to create buttons, right? So to create a button is actually done in two different ways, or in many ways. You can create a shape and a square and then right inside, but there's a way I love to do it, and that's the way I want you to do it, because it's very good and it's very nice. So the first thing I want to do is to click on my text tool. I can click on T on my keyboard or click on it right there, and then write, okay, I'm creating the register first, the register CTA. So I just write REGISTER, register. Yeah, register. So what you then want to do is to create to add an auto layout to this. So normally if you create on any element at all, you will see auto layouts right here, auto layout at the right hand panel. But if you click on text, just text, you will not see it most of the time. So this is the way to do it, to add an auto layout. You use the keyboard shortcut Shift A will give you the auto layout. You can see that there are some paddings around it. You understand? And if you come to the right hand panel, you can see the auto layout settings here. So we want to for the button we're trying to make, we want to make it centralized. This is the alignment of the text, so we want to make it centralized in the middle. Yeah, the padding is okay. So but if your words, your text is bigger, and you can reduce it or increase the padding. Understand? So what we then want to do now is that what this auto layout has done, it has created a frame around it. You understand? So we now want to add a fill, that's a color to that frame. So if you click on the plus icon, just scroll down and you see fill, click on the plus icon, and you will see now it has created a white background. So let me remove the grid. Now you cannot see the white background because the overall background is also white. So what we want to do is to change the color, and I said we are wireframing, we want to use this gray for anytime we need colors. So you can just come here and then change the color, but you could be looking for it and sometimes your palette can be so messy, so you can just use the eyedropper tool. So for the eyedropper tool, you can find it here. Click on this and pick your color, and if you don't want to go, that's like 2 steps, but if you don't want to do that, you can just click on eye and you see the eyedropper tool and you just click on this and then it gives you the color. Okay, so we've done that, and we want to change the color text to white also, because of course that's the contrast. So you want to change it to white, you can use the eyedropper tool, pick on white, and that's good. So we want to give our buttons rounded corners also, so you can see this rounded corner radius here. You can drag, click and drag, or if you want, I think that's nice. So I just want to use, let's say it's 5, just to make it mature and professional. And you can go as much as 10 depending on the way you want it to look. Understand? So it kind of looks good. Let me give it more corners. So let's use like 6. Yeah, so let's use like 6. So what we then want to do is that we want to duplicate this to create the other button. You understand? Duplicate this to create the other button. So I'll hold Option on Mac and Alt on PC to click and drag, and you can also use Ctrl D and then you can click and drag. You understand? You can also do that, and there's a way we want to do it, because this is our secondary button. This one will be the login button, right? But it's our secondary button, and we want it to be and you can see what the auto layout is there. It actually was responsive to the size. You understand? It was responsive to the size, and that's why I love using auto layout a lot. Yeah, so as I said, this is a secondary button. Okay, sometimes you just want your button to be the same size. You understand? You can actually fix that in the auto layout. If you don't want it to be that responsive, this is the packed okay, so I can, okay, so okay, the you can, if you have like different text inside, you can change to space between. Understand? I'll just I don't want to go too deep into advanced auto layout so that we will not get too caught up in that in this lecture. So what you want to make a secondary button, right? So this is what I'll usually do. I'll add a stroke. So you can see this stroke. I'll add that stroke to the layout, and then I will remove the fill. So okay, the text is there but it's white, so we have to change that. Use the eyedropper to click on eye, and then you can pick on that, and then we have the secondary button in that fashion. So is it just me, or is our hamburger is just too big? Oh yeah, it's something you can adjust. So one more thing I would want to do is to tidy this up. So I'll click and select everything together, and then you can come here. You will see tidy up, and then we tidy that up. Okay, so now when we tidy up, this is not how I want it to look. First of all, we tidied it up, right? And then I used vertical align to vertical centers. What I then now want to do is this two. I'll open my layout grid. These two should not be like this, because that's not how it is. The UX is bad. We can then reduce the distance between them to like 20. Yeah, and then okay, probably 10 or 15. Okay, so we can then now move it to this side, just to you can see Figma wants to always come to the center. That's why I love it. So yeah, so and I think we are done. So one more thing we should do to this header one more thing we do to the header is, okay, this is just too big. You should reduce it if you are following me with this design. Is we want to add a frame. We want to put everything in a frame. Yeah, do we want to put everything in a frame? Okay, so let me remember how I did this. I think I put everything in a frame. Yeah, okay, so how you do that is you click on frame. Rather than using presets, you can just create yours. If you click and drag over a couple of elements, everything will enter into the frame. So that's what I am doing here. And with that done, we have our frame. So I want to add a stroke to the frame. You can click plus, but I don't want the stroke to be like all over like this. I just want it to be in the bottom. And the new update in Figma has been so beautiful. You can do that now, and you can see bottom, and it's just on one side. And so yeah, it's pretty it's pretty nice. And yeah, the next thing is to move to designing the hero page. Okay, so moving to the hero page, I'll just quickly show you what we have on the hero page. The hero page basically shows this I already explained what hero page is. So what I want to do is to add the text, the the call to action, and then this. So we put on our layouts grid again, Control Shift 4, and that's for Mac. Sorry, that's for desktop. But if you're not using desktop, you're using Mac. I've forgotten the shortcut, but you can come to this question mark here, help and resources, and you go to keyboard shortcuts, and under view, yeah, you see I think layout grids, and then you know what you should use for your own shortcut. So yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know that because I've not really used Mac, so yeah, pardon me. Okay, so yeah, the first thing I want to create is to create the video section. So I want to leave this part and leave this part, so I'm starting from here, right? I'm starting from here. Start from here. So I'll click on R to create a rectangle. We can come here and click on the rectangle tool itself, and then from here I want to click and drag using three boxes or 3 columns, and then drag using 3 rows, right? Okay, looking too square. I don't know, it's not looking like as I want it to look like, but yeah, you know, it's just wireframe. So we can then decide to shift it up, rather put it somewhere here, and then use this this side is instead, and it kind of looks cool. Yeah, I think I love it better like this. I love it better. So I want to add rounded corners, obviously. Let's see how 20 looks. So yeah, 20 is looking nice. So if you want to make the play button, as I said, you can use Figma. Sorry, we are using Figma right now. You can use the plugins, but right now I'll just use the polygon tool. The polygon tool by default will create a triangle. So you can just move that like this. You know, when you move that like that, you can okay, I'll come here and put input -90, so that -90 degrees, so that you can easily give that. So I want to scale down, come down here to scale, move scale. So I'll just click and drag. It will help you scale it properly. And then when you do that, use the eyedropper tool to pick this color, and then we can bring that to the center. Figma always wants to come to the center, and yeah, beautiful. So we have created that already, so it's now time to add the text and the call to action. Now we're going to be creating the text. So I put on my layout again, very crucial. It helps your alignment basically. And then I click on the text tool, come right here, just click one click, and then you then type in grow your, sorry, I want everything on caps, grow your oh god, grow your business with confidence. Yeah, so what I'll then do is to, you know, come here and then click and drag and put it around here, because I want to increase the size. So I then come right here to increase the size. I'll just click on that and then use the up key on my keyboard, and then we go up. Yeah, I think I like 16. Drag that out. Yeah, now I'm growing our business with confidence. So you want it to align with this this column. Let me put off the row so you can see the column. Let me put off the row. So yeah, I want it to align like this, you understand? So I think it's looking good. We can make that bold if it's not bold yet, because it's looking bold, but it's not looking so bold, so I think it's not bold. It's bold. Wow. Okay, so and then we want to add our call to action. So you can see this, we just copy it because you don't want to be creating new buttons. You want all your buttons to be like kind of matching and equal. So if you're changing color, you can just copy that and change the color. So you want this. So I would usually have a distance of 10 in my button, so you can change that. You can see we have this and this, they are stacked. Also, you can see that they are stacked here, and I just click in 10. Yeah, so I like that. So I want it to be kind of like in the center of this, so you can see that. Yeah, so we are done with the hero page. Wow, that was fast. So next thing, we're moving to the features page. So what you want to do is to then type a text, and that way you can do the text is click on T, or, you know, come up here and click on that, and bring up my rows. Where's my rows? My rows. Not rows. Oh, I was like trying to crack or try to make comedy. I'm very poor comedian. I'm not saying rose instead of rose, but I'm now explaining to you, so the joke is poor because I'm explaining it. Oh god. So I put up my rose. No rose now, please. Okay, so now that we are here, we want to leave this column and this gutter and then start from here. So we click on T or come up here to create your box, not your box, your text box here basically. So you can, another way to type is to click and drag. Yeah, to click and drag here. Basically you click and drag, and you can then type in e-commerce made simple. E-commerce made, okay, e-commerce made, okay, what's wrong with my caps now? I don't know. E-commerce made simple. That's not the okay, so now that we have this, we are not using all these empty spaces, so you can just come here and click on that, and then you have that. Okay, you can click on this too. So we want to centralize that. I also want to increase the size of that from 11 to probably 16 or 15 is fine. Yeah, and put that to the center. So one thing I want to do is to make it visually, I want to add some weight to it. So then I put everything down to regular, and now this simple, that's what I'm trying to make them see. That's what you do with like marketing messages. Make that one bold, and then e-commerce made simple. E-commerce made simple. So I used something else here. E-commerce made easy, limitless customer reach. So still the same thing. So yeah, you then already know how to create. So I'll just run through what you should do. So you already know how to create boxes, right? You already know how to create boxes because I've like shown you everything that you need to know how to do. So you then already know how to create boxes. So let me just show you what I did. So then I left the gutter, and then I created this kind of frame for the like an image, and then I created a subheading, so a title, subtitle, and then I added the learn more city, and then I did that the opposite way for this one, and then went to the testimonials. Basically the same thing that I did. I just added like lines. You know how to add lines. You use your L and then you click and drag basically. Yeah, so and then we did that. We made the last one, and then we made the footer. Footer is also very easy, something you can easily replicate. So what I did was, when I created, like we did for the header, we created a frame for everything, but for my stroke I did not make it bottom or top. I made it to the side, just to switch things up. So that's basically everything we did with the wireframing, and I believe you can do that. Yeah, so everything is pretty easy. Okay, so here one more thing I did that was different is that here I created I made this. Okay, so if you open this, you can then find the individual sides. Yeah, you can find the individual sides. Yeah, so we can find individual sides. So I'll just then show you how to create this, and then the rest will be your project. Yeah, so this is how we did that. Then let's create open our frames back, our layout rather. So what I did is created a rectangle. So I created a rectangle like this. Yeah, so I then gave it a color, or then I created another rectangle on up top, following my layout grid because they do help. Yeah, so something like this. Let me bring this down a little. So it's like a UI card, you understand? It's like a UI card, or it is a UI card. Okay, so this one, that the rectangle I created on that's where you actually did change the rounded corner. So you can click on these independent corners right here. When you click on that, you can then change the bottom corners. So these are the two bottom corners, this and this. So I'll change this to 10 or 20 rather. I think I used 20, and then the other one also to 20. Yeah, and yeah, we have that. So you can then type here and then add your image here, and yeah, it's pretty easy to do. So I think that's all for the wireframing, and I want you to replicate one of this, replicate it, and yeah, post it on our WhatsApp page, and then I would like to see. So one other thing is the class project. So you have a class project. Your project is to Then design a wireframe low fidelity for any company of your choice. Take a screenshot of it and send it to the group. So that's your quick project. You don't have to make it perfect. As I said, wireframes should not take you up to like 5 minutes to do, though as a beginner you want to like try to perfect some things. But yeah, basically wireframing should not take a very long time. You understand? You should just make the wireframe. Wireframe is really the direction we're trying to move towards with the real design. The real design is where we take our time. You understand? So I think that's all for now. I really hope you love this class. You can comment down below anything you want me to explain better, and subscribe to this page and give this video a like so that other people can see this and then benefit from it. So thank you so much for visiting my page. See you in the next video.